Two of the three large credit reference agencies band their average credit score as fair, meaning that most people are seen as risky and are likely getting charged higher interest rates, which is costing them more money. We'll give you tips to boost all the elements that make up your credit score, including credit history, utilization, and credit mixing. With these tips, you can avoid being banded as risky and get the best credit deals, which could save you thousands. First, let's look at the average credit score per agency and how that score is banded. How many points are needed to level up to the next band, and our top tips on how to improve your credit score. What is the average credit score? Without one universal credit score to rule them all, we'll need to look at the average score by credit reference agency. We'll use UK examples, but the tips are universal. Let's start with Equifax. The maximum score you can get with Equifax is 1000. The average Equifax score in the UK is 644, which is considered good. The average person needs another 27 points to get very good. Next, TransUnion. The maximum score with TransUnion is 710. The average UK TransUnion score is 573, which is fair. The average person would need 31 points more to be banded as good. And Experian. The maximum score you can get with Experian is 999. The average UK score is 797, which is fair. You need 84 more points to be good. Did those statistics surprise you? So what can you do to boost your credit score and get those top deals? First, check your credit report. How does checking my credit report boost my score? You may find inaccuracies that are dragging your score down. If you spot any inaccuracies, you can dispute them, get them changed, and boost your score. What can you dispute? Late payments, incorrect balances, credit limits, and open accounts reported as closed. As a bonus tip, if you spot the following inaccuracies, not only should you dispute them, but they might be signs of identity theft, such as accounts that don't belong to you, unauthorized searches, and addresses you don't recognize. How do you dispute inaccuracies? Online, by mail, or by phone. Note that certain items on your credit report can't be disputed online. You may have to call and speak to a dispute specialist. How does a credit report dispute affect your credit? Filing a dispute itself doesn't affect your credit scores. However, some credit scores might treat items that are in dispute differently, which could affect your scores while the dispute is being investigated. What dispute outcomes will boost my credit score? Negative information being removed, such as late payments. Are there any dispute outcomes that could hurt my credit score? Your scores could decrease when accounts are removed or updated. For example, if you dispute a credit card and it's removed from your credit report, that might shorten the length of your credit history or increase your credit utilization ratio. What if I want to update personal information? Some changes in personal information won't affect your credit scores. If the dispute doesn't result in a change, then it won't impact your credit scores. The second thing you can do is pay your bills on time. This sounds obvious, but did you know that payment history makes up 35% of your credit score? Paying bills on time is a major factor in your credit score and can help show that you can manage your finances. Got it? Paying all bills boosts my credit score. Not quite. Payments for mortgages, credit cards, loans, and car finance impact your credit score. But the three major credit bureaus don't consider the following when calculating your credit score: rent, phone bills, electric bills, and other utilities. So, on-time payments or one late payment won't make a difference. However, if you miss too many payments and the service provider transfers your debt to a collection agency. That's when those bills will affect your credit score. Yes, it may seem a bit unfair. Pay those bills on time, and it has little to no positive impact on your credit score. Don't pay on time, and it will negatively impact your credit score. Some credit bureaus have created ways to use those types of payments to improve your score within their scoring model. The third thing you can do is reduce your credit card balance. Credit utilization represents about 30% of your score, so it's another component that is worth managing well. So, let's look at some of the specific things you can do. 1. Pay down your credit card, especially those that are at the highest percentage of their spending limit. 2. You can also try paying your balance more than once a month. 3. Aim to keep your credit utilization below 30%. 4. Ask your credit issuer to increase your credit limit. This can increase your total available credit, which can help lower your utilization ratio. 5. Spread your charges across multiple cards each month. It's better to have multiple accounts with low utilization instead of one account with high utilization. 6. Keep your oldest credit card account open to lengthen your credit history. Even if you've stopped using a card, keeping it open can increase your available credit. 7. Use a personal loan, which is a type of installment debt, to consolidate revolving debt. Wait, what are installment debt and revolving debt? And what do they have to do with my credit score? Great question. More details on that later. But, for now, understand that utilization ratios are based on revolving debt, not installment debt. So moving your revolving debt to installment debt can lower your utilization ratio. It also provides you with a fixed interest rate and a set repayment period, which can make it easier for you to manage. We think that's a win-win. The fourth thing you can do is open new credit accounts. Opening new credit accounts have both positive and negative effects on your credit score. So you need to be strategic. Let's take a look at the positive impacts first, using credit cards as the example. Opportunity to establish a strong payment history. Remember, payment history comprises 35% of your credit score, making it the number one influence on your credit score. Opening a new credit line gives you a chance to build up a history of paying your bills on time. Opening a new credit card increases your available credit, which can positively affect your credit score. Keep credit utilization under 30%, and ideally even lower. Card utilization is the second biggest influence on your credit score. Before you go running off to open new credit cards, be aware of these potential negative impacts first. When you apply for a credit card, the card issuer will do a hard inquiry, also known as a hard search. Hard searches stay on your credit report for 2 years, but they will usually only lower your scores for a few months following your application, if at all. If you have good credit otherwise, and you don't have too many hard searches, applying for one new card shouldn't have a big impact on your scores and might not affect you at all. Can you guess what percentage of your credit score is from your credit history? The length of your credit account history comprises 15%. That means that the longer your cards have been open, the more positive an impact they'll have. Unfortunately, a new card reduces the average age of your credit accounts. And new credit makes up 10% of your credit score. But remember that on-time payments and credit utilization make up more of your credit score than credit age, so don't be put off from opening a new account. Just be aware and weigh up what's right for you. The bottom line is that opening a new credit card might cause your score to dip initially, but over the long term, it can help you improve your credit history and raise your credit score. Variety is the spice of life, so the fifth thing you can do is to have both revolving and installment accounts. Looks good on your credit report. Your credit mix refers to the different types of accounts you have in your credit file. There are two broad categories: installment credit and revolving credit. Installment credit refers to loans you take out and repay a single time, such as mortgages, car loans, and personal loans. Revolving credit refers to accounts you can charge a balance on, repay, and reuse, such as credit cards. Credit mix makes up 10% of your score, so opening a new credit card may be helpful if most of your existing accounts are installment debts. This next tip is a bit trickier to pull off, but it can supercharge your credit score. The sixth thing you can do is to become an authorized user on someone else's credit card who has good credit. As an authorized user on a credit card, you can make purchases with the card, but you are not responsible for paying the bill each month. The primary account holder will be able to see all your transactions, but they are solely responsible for making monthly payments on the account. How does being added as an authorized user help my credit score? You benefit from the primary's credit limit. Essentially, you inherit their credit limit, which lowers your utilization ratio, and you benefit from the primary's payment history. If you are a relatively new credit user, an authorized user account can add years of payments to your credit history. If those payments were all made on time, that benefits your credit scores significantly. This can give you a jump start in establishing, building, or rebuilding your credit history. It can take a month or two for your credit report to reflect the changes, but you've just inherited years of their good behavior in a matter of weeks. Sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? Sharing a credit card with a less than reliable credit user could hurt your credit score. If the account owner missed a scheduled payment by 30 days or more in the recent past, their credit scores will likely suffer, and yours could as well. Becoming an authorized user can mean a huge increase in your credit limit. With great purchasing power comes great responsibility. A shopping spree that runs up the utilization rate on the card could have negative consequences for their credit, your credit, and your relationship with the primary cardholder. If you'd like to build your credit by becoming an authorized user on someone else's credit card, ask a loved one with a strong history of good credit management to add you to their account. Find out about fees. If the card has an annual fee, it would be a good gesture to offer to cover a portion of it. Have a conversation with the primary cardholder about how you'll use the card and establish boundaries. 1. Will you have a monthly spending limit? 2. Should you get permission for charges in excess of a certain amount? 3. Be clear about payments. Although you are not actually responsible for your purchases, it would be a good idea to pay for what you spent. 4. Will you make payments directly to the card or transfer funds to the primary card holder? 5. How will you handle purchases you cannot pay in full in a single pay period and the interest? 6. How long will you stay on their account? As your credit improves, think about getting a credit card in your own name and easing out of the authorized user relationship. You can't know exactly what credit limit you'll get on your own card until you apply for it, but there are online tools that can give you an idea. Before you ask the primary owner to remove you from the authorized user account, make sure you understand how its absence will affect your credit utilization. You can stay on the account indefinitely if you and the primary account holder agree. Let us know which tips you will try in the comments. Check out our other video where we debunk common credit score myths. See you there.